Okay, welcome back to Without Method, the show where we talk about whatever the hell it is we feel like. And on today's episode, we're talking about the Sony Handycam Video Hi8 Camcorder. You gotta believe it. This was top of the line about 116 years ago, and a lot of history in this camera. So we're gonna get into it right now. Many years ago, when I first started getting behind the camera, the first piece of gear that I actually had that was a camera was a VHS-C camcorder, and unfortunately I do not have one of those. But if you know about them, you know. But basically, they took these really fat, they look like cassette tapes, but maybe if 3 of them were taped together. And then to be able to watch those tapes, you would have to put that tape into like this adapter for a VHS player. It was unbelievable and just so ridiculous. But at the time,
this is Nick Bringle, and he's going to be showing us the moves. Oh yeah. Here he goes. Here he goes. Gonna drop the table. Drop the table.
I was inside my house. I was so scared. I didn't know what to do.
it was pretty awesome. That was the technology we had. But a couple years later, I was able to get an Analog 8 camcorder by Sony. And this is actually one, this is not the original one that I had, but it's the same exact model. And yeah, it really was probably the formidable years for me where I started to film these really random short films with my friends, made a numerous amounts of prank phone calls and jackass style scenes. We did actually a whole movie that we called American Idiots, and it was just, you're not going to see that, but you will see some of the footage right here in this Without Method episode. But most of it will stay in the vault because, you know, it's stuff that I'm probably liable to go to prison for the rest of my life. So
on the way to Largo Central Park, shooting our first big scene. It's gonna be crazy. Alright. Alright, you ready? Alright, go ahead. Quiet on the set. Alright. No! No!
John, what's your problem?
it was just a different time back then. You did not have the technology or the capability to do what we can do now. Even kids nowadays, an iPhone is in their pocket and they have the ability to shoot in different formats, different color styles, different filter. They can do so much. They don't have just 2 options or 3 options. And back then we didn't really have any options. So the color that came out of these cameras, that was it. It was basically auto exposed. There's nothing you could do about it. But the funny thing is, when you're that age and you're making these no budget, ridiculous pieces of art, you don't really care. And I can remember watching stuff and I never thought about the color. I never thought about the exposure. All of it had to do with the story and the framing and how people saw it visually. The sound was horrible. We didn't have any external microphones, so the sound came directly out of these cameras. And as you know, there's so much mechanical there's mechanical things going on the entire time the camera is on recording, and so you hear all of that, and it's just this hum, this constant humming sound. And so yeah, it is fun to go back. Over the past few years, I purchased an adapter, like a digital converter, so I could get all of this old footage onto a hard drive, because they were just sitting on those Hi8 or Digital 8 tapes that are just obsolete now. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about the Sony Handycam Vision. I think this thing had night vision. Oh, dude, it had night shot. It had night shot. I mean, you could record for like 120 minutes, but you had to still rewind. You had to fast forward, rewind. There is no scrolling around and finding, you know, exactly where you want to be. That just did not exist. And I mean, this only had AV out. I don't even think, yeah, this you could only plug into the TV. So, oh, this is without method, and we're talking about the Handycam Vision, the brand new video Hi8 camcorder from Sony. It's got the video lens, the optical 20 times. And you can pick these cameras up on eBay, probably Nextdoor, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist. A lot of them don't work. I actually have a Digital 8, a Hi8, and then an old HD DV camcorder as well. So it's nice to keep a few of them around, because over the years they become more valuable, but you never know when you need to transfer some 30-year-old footage from when you hit golf balls in the front yard towards the neighbor's house. I mean, you might need that at some point, you know, or when your friend ate a bowl of celery in like a minute for $1. You're gonna need that. You gotta have that footage.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, anyway, hit the subscribe button. Without Method is sponsored by Motion VFX, templates, titles, graphics, incredible just film mats and film grain and all kinds of stuff that you can use in your linear software like Final Cut Pro or DaVinci Resolve. You just go check it out. It's good stuff. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this. You know, let me know about something you want me to talk about. Like if you know me, I guess, then you would know there might be a story. I don't know. Are we still in focus here? God.